Okay, today what we're going to do is I am going to do the quiz 7 study guide. All right, your version of the quiz 7 study guide is on Focus under the resources tab, and it'll say quiz 7 study guide. All right, these are the notes that will go along with that study guide. Got it? And then your quiz will be on Monday. So on this study guide, the first 7 problems are multiple choice. So the multiple choice, and here's number 1. Number 1, you're asked to write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line through the point 3, -9 with a slope of 2. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, so for this problem number 1, the first thing you're going to do, since you have a point and a slope, you're going to write an equation in point slope form first. So we're going to go y plus 9 equals 2 times x minus 3. That is point slope form. We're going to distribute this 2. So y plus 9 equals 2x minus 6. Then we're going to subtract 9 from each side. So y is equal to 2x minus 15. That is in slope-intercept form. All right, and then question number 2, they give you a point again. Your point's -4, -8. They give you a slope of 7, and they ask you to write the equation in point slope form. Well, that's what we just did right here. So we're going to take y plus 8 equals 7 times x plus 4. That's point slope form. In problem number 3, you need to write an equation in slope-intercept form that goes through these 2 points. So we go through -10, -8, and 8, 4. All right, so since you need it in slope-intercept form, the first thing we're going to find is the slope. So the slope is equal to 4 minus -8 divided by 8 minus -10. So we're going to keep change. We get 12 in the numerator. Keep change in the denominator. We get 18. 12 over 18 simplifies to 2/3. So now we have a slope, and we're going to use this first point right here. We're going to write it in point slope form first. So we're going to say that y plus 8 equals 2/3 times x plus 10. We're going to do the same thing we did in number 1. We're going to distribute this slope. So y plus 8 equals 2/3 x plus 2/3 times 10 is 20/3. And then we're going to subtract 8 from each side. So y equals 2/3 x, and then 20/3 minus 8 That's 1 1/3. Number 4. Number 4 says, what is the question for a line that passes through the points 7, 6, 6, 2? And all of the equations are in point slope form. So what we're going to do here is we're going to find the slope. And we're going to do that by 2 minus 6 divided by 6 minus 7. 2 minus 6 is -4. 6 minus 7 is -1. Our slope is 4. Now, all of your answer choices use this point right here. And here's your slope. So we're writing this equation in point slope form. So that's y minus 6 equals 4 times x minus 7. Number 5. The question is, which are parallel? You're given 3 equations. We got one equation is 5y equals -3x minus 5. Second equation, 5y equals 1 minus 3x. And the third equation, 3y minus 2x equals -1. Now, parallel lines have the same slope. So if we just put each of these equations in slope-intercept form, we can determine what their slope is, and we can determine which ones are parallel. So in this first equation, you can just divide everything by 5. And you get y equals -3/5 x minus 1. Here's your slope. In this second equation, you can divide everything by 5 again. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this -3x right here, we're going to move it next to the equal sign. So we're going to get 5y divided by 5. We're going to get y equals -3/5 x plus 1/5. And here's your slope. In this third equation, we got 2 moves to make. We got to add 2x to each side. So 3y is going to equal 2x minus 1. And then we're going to divide everything by 3. So y equals 2/3 x minus 1/3. And here's your slope. So which are parallel? The 2 with the same slope. So 1 and 2 are parallel. Number 6. Now, if you don't get some of this, that's okay, because I'm gonna upload the video. All right. I just want to make sure that this whole thing gets covered before the bell rings, and we're on early release today. So if I scroll up and you missed a part of it, just leave some white space on your paper and go to the next problem. And then you'll have to go on focus and watch the video to get what you missed in your notes. So we're on number 6, and it says, there's a line through the points. -6, -5, -11, -6. Perpendicular to the line that goes through 5, -7, 11, -15. Well, perpendicular lines have slopes that are negative reciprocals of each other. So you need to find the slope of each line and then compare them. So the slope of this first line is going to be -6 minus -5 divided by -11 minus -6. So -6 minus -5, that's going to be -1 over -11 plus 6, that's going to be -5, and -1 over -5 is +1/5. So there's the slope of your first line. Then the slope of your second line is going to be -15 minus -7 and 11 minus 5. So in the numerator, we're going to keep change. -15 plus 7, that's going to be -8. 11 minus 5 in the denominator, 11 minus 5, that's 6. This is negative, what is that, 4/3, -4/3. So are the lines perpendicular? Here's your two slopes. Here's one slope, here's the other slope. The slopes are not negative reciprocals, so the lines are not perpendicular, so that's a no. And then number 7 has the same question. Are the lines perpendicular? You got y equals -x plus 9. And you got 3x plus 3y equals 6. So the slope of this first line is -1. Here's your slope right here. What's between the equal sign and the x? -1. This second equation, we got to work with it a little bit. We're going to subtract 3x from each side. And we get 3y is going to equal -3x plus 6. And then we got to divide everything by 3. So y equals -3 divided by 3 is -1. So that's -x plus 2. Well, here's the slope of the second line. The slopes are the same. And the question is, are the lines perpendicular? No. No, they are parallel. All right, so that's the first 7 problems on the study guide, which are multiple choice. And then there's some short answer questions. And number 1 of the short answer asks you, write an equation for a vertical line that contains -6, 1. A vertical line that contains -6, 1. Well, if you had a coordinate plane and it had a point on it at -6, +1, it would be right here. A vertical line that goes through that point would look like this. And its equation would be x equals -6. And then number 2 asks you to write an equation for a horizontal line. Write an equation for a horizontal line that contains the point -10, -3. -10, -3. Well, again, if you have a coordinate plane, and it's got the point -10, -3 right here. Horizontal line. So here's a horizontal line that goes through the point -10, -3. And its equation would be y equals -3. All right, then number 3 asks you, is the line through the points 9, 9 and 8, -1 parallel to the line through -1, -4, 4, 2? Okay, we've already done a problem just like this. We did this same concept as number 6. We got to find the slope of each line and compare the slopes. So this slope is going to be equal to -1 minus 9 divided by 8 minus 9. And the slope of the line on the right will be going to be equal to 2 minus -4 divided by 4 minus -1. This slope, -1 minus 9. -1 minus 9 is -10. And 8 minus 9 is -1. And -10 divided by -1 is +10. Two minus -4, we're going to keep change. So that's a 6. 4 minus -1, keep change. That's a 5. So the slope of this line is 6/5. Are they parallel? No. Slopes are different. And then number 4. What is the equation in point slope form for the line parallel to? All right, so we've got one line that's at 7x minus 6. This second line has to go through the point -8, -6. And it has to be parallel to it. So look, here's line 1 right here. This is your line 1. Here's its slope. Its slope is 7. You have to write an equation of a line that goes through the point -8, -6. That's parallel to it. So if it's parallel to it, it has to have the same slope. So the slope of this line is equal to 7. They want it in point slope form. So here it is, y plus 6 equals 7 times x plus 8. All right, point slope form, it's parallel to the given line. It has the same slope, and it goes to the point -8, -6. And then number 5 is the same type of question. You're given an equation of y equals 4x minus 2. You're asked to write an equation of a line that's perpendicular to it. So it goes through -9, 7. So again, here's the slope of the first line. It's 4. Well, if we're going to write an equation of a line that's perpendicular to it.
Good morning, Commodore. This is Mr. Solomon with a brief reminder. Teachers, please check the email that I forwarded and Mr. Fry put out yesterday in regard to students that need to be in testing. It's vital that we get those students into testing sites. If you have students that are reluctant to go, make sure you reach out to an administrator. We'll be happy to escort those Commodores.
This line, this equation that we're going to write that's perpendicular to the first line, the slopes have to be negative reciprocals of each other. So the slope of this new line has to have a slope of negative 1/4. All right, so our equation in point slope form is going to be y minus 7 equals negative 1/4 x plus 9. That didn't take nearly as long as I thought. So opportunity for everybody to get a real good quiz grade on Monday.